Welcome to Somatic Movement session number 5. Today we're going to map some pretty heavy areas emotionally. I've got my cheerful socks just to lighten the subject a little bit. So we're going to map the outer ankle, the talus bone, which emotionally represents the home of our guilt and shame emotions that we may or may not have dealt with in the past. The next point we're going to be mapping is the kneecap, and the kneecap is directly related to the tendon guard reflex, and the tendon guard reflex is a reflex stress response in the body that affects the entire fascial train from the neck down to the low back, through your hips, and down behind your kneecaps, down to the big toe. So it's a pretty significant reflex pattern, and some of us can get chronically stuck in this mode, causing a lot of pain and contraction in certain areas. So this will be a good one to map. Me, myself, I have a kind of a funny right knee at times. And so, yeah, and then the third area we're going to map is the Psoas muscle. And the psoas lives in, I'm just going to refer to it in the crease of your thigh. And it runs all the way up, as I kind of showed in the slides, up to the low back and then down, and it attaches to the femur. So if there's tension in the psoas, it will affect the knees. You have tension in one place and it affects everything else. So I thought those three areas would be good to map together. And yeah, so again, as always, we are starting these 8 weeks in supine laying positions. And so just get yourself on the ground with your feet a little bit further than hip distance apart. And just take mental inventory overall of how your body is resting on the ground. How is your breathing? How are your shoulder blades resting on the ground? Your arms all the way down to the back of your hands. Do you feel your pelvis resting evenly on both sides? Or is one side feel more pulled up? The other one more drop down? How are your feet resting on the ground? Starting as usual with the side that comes first to your mind, that you have more sensory awareness of. For me today, that would be the right side. And just bringing your awareness to your outer ankle bone and drawing a line with a pen marker around the outside of the talus or your ankle bone, going one direction Are some areas of your awareness of that bone clearer than others? Is there any blank areas where you have a hard time sensing into? And when you've gone around your ankle bone one way, change direction and go the other way. How is your arch of your foot resting on the ground in relationship to your outer ankle bone? And as you hold your awareness on the arch of your foot and your outer ankle bone, does anything change? Moving your mind's eye and your awareness up your shin bone towards your kneecap, or the general area where you imagine your kneecap to be. Does your kneecap feel more drawn towards midline, so more towards the big toe? Or does it feel more towards the center of your toes? Or is it more towards the little toe, towards the outside of your foot? Does your kneecap feel more pulled up towards the hip bone? Or does it feel closer to your shin? How does your kneecap feel in relationship to the back of your knee? And as you hold your awareness on your kneecap and the back of your knee, does anything change? Oscillating between your kneecap and your outer ankle bone. Can you hold both points in mind? Or do you have to go back and forth between the two? If you draw a line from your ankle bone up to your knee, does your knee feel more drawn in towards the body? Or does it feel closer to the little toe or the back of your hand? And as you hold your awareness on your kneecap and your outer ankle bone, does anything change? Moving your awareness up to the back of your pelvis. How is your pelvis resting on the ground, on the side that you're focusing on? Are there certain parts of your pelvis that feel heavier on the ground? Other parts that feel lighter? Can you sense into the muscle that is below the crease of your thigh and hold your awareness in that area and the back of your pelvis? Does the psoas muscle or the crease of your thigh feel contracted? Does it feel like it's more pulled up towards the ASIS, the frontal hip bone? Does it pull towards your knee? Or is it drawing in towards the pubic bone? And as you hold your awareness on the crease of your thigh and the back of your pelvis, does anything change? Drawing a pencil line from the crease of your thigh to your kneecap and down to your outer ankle bone. Can you feel any tension in your thighs? Any gripping in your toes? Any firmness around your kneecap? And as you hold your awareness in those areas, does anything change? Comparing your left and right sides of the body. Does the side that you've been sensing into feel heavier on the ground, the other one lighter? How are your shoulder blades resting on the ground from one side to the other? The back of your pelvis and the bottoms of your feet. Switching to the opposite side that we haven't focused on. Starting again at the talus bone or the outer ankle. Drawing a pencil line around the outside of your ankle bone, going one direction. Some parts of your ankle bone more clear in your mind's eye than others. And just notice. And when you've gone one direction, go the other way, again drawing a line around the outside of your ankle bone. How is your ankle resting on the ground in relationship to the arch of your foot on this side? Are you gripping your toes? And as you hold your awareness on your outer ankle bone and the arch of your foot, does anything change? Moving your awareness up the shin bone towards your kneecap on this side. Does your kneecap feel closer towards midline or towards the big toe? Does it feel centered around the middle of your toes? Does it feel closer towards your little toe or the back of your hand? Is there any gripping in your knee? Does it feel closer, drawn up into the body? Or does it feel closer towards your shin bone? Can you feel it gripping up towards your hip? And as you hold your awareness on your kneecap and the back of your knee, does anything change? Oscillating between the outer ankle bone and your kneecap, or holding both points in mind. Does your kneecap feel closer towards the outer ankle or towards the big toe? Are you gripping your toes? And as you hold your awareness on your outer ankle and your kneecap, does anything change? Moving up towards your pelvic floor on this side. How is your back body, the back of your pelvis, resting on the mat or the floor that you're making contact with? Do some part of your hip or your pelvis feel heavier? Some parts lighter? Can you sense into the muscle between the crease of your thigh? Can you feel any tension in that area or any gripping? And as you hold your awareness on the back of your pelvis and the crease of your thigh, does anything change? If you draw a pencil line from the crease of your thigh to your kneecap and down to your outer ankle bone, does this line feel closer towards the little toe or to the middle of your toes? Or is the line closer to the center or towards your big toe on this side? And as you draw this pencil line back and forth in your mind's eye, does anything change? Comparing right and left sides. Is your body resting differently on the ground than at the beginning of the session? Are there more flat areas or heavy areas making contact with the ground? Has your breath changed? since the beginning of the session. Going back to the original area we focused on in the beginning, and gently pressing your feet into the ground and letting your shin bones push into the ground and rocking your pelvis back and forth. How is your ankle bone moving as you are rocking back and forth in this movement? Can you feel your kneecap moving on this side as you are pulling your pelvis down towards your heels and then pushing your shins to push the pelvis back away from the ground, and gently rocking your pelvis back and forth, focusing on your outer ankle on this side and your kneecap. Can you feel the psoas muscle below the crease of your thigh as you rock back and forth in this movement? Is there any tension in the crease of your thigh? Any gripping in the knee? Any tension in your toes on this side? Resting your pelvis movement for this moment and taking mental inventory of both sides. Is there any shaking or trembling in your thigh or the pelvic region? How is your foot resting on the ground? Can you feel your knee gripping? Or is it letting go and relaxing? Lifting the right arm, or whichever side you've been focusing on in the beginning, up towards the ceiling, and pointing your fingers up towards your head and making a figure 8 pattern, curling your fingers down to the pelvis, tipping the fingers back up, and back down towards the head, making a figure 8 pattern with your fingers and your arm. Are you gripping your psoas muscle underneath the crease of your thigh? Are you holding your breath while you're carrying out this movement? Are you gripping your knee or your thigh bone? Can you feel your ankle rocking as you're moving your arm in this figure 8 pattern up towards your head and down towards your hips? Can you feel the weight shifting on the bottoms of your feet as you're carrying out this movement? And as you hold your awareness on your psoas muscle, the crease in your thigh, your kneecap, and your ankle bone, does anything change? Resting your arm back down, taking mental inventory of both sides. Does the side we've been focusing on feel different than the one that we haven't practiced any movement on? Switching to the other side, again rocking the pelvis, pushing your feet into the ground and pushing the shins towards the back wall, rocking your pelvis up and then pulling your pelvis down towards the knee or the back of your heels and rocking your pelvis back and forth. Can you feel this motion in your outer ankle bone? Can you feel your ankle moving away from the body and coming back in? Are you gripping your knees as you're carrying out this movement? Can you feel your kneecap shifting back and forth as you carry out this movement? How much tension is there in the crease of your thigh and your psoas muscle as you're rocking your pelvis back and forth? And as you are rocking your pelvis and paying attention to the crease of your thigh, your kneecap, and your outer ankle bone, does anything change? Relaxing your pelvis, take an inventory of how your feet are resting on the ground. How the back body of your pelvis is resting on the floor. Moving the opposite hand up towards the ceiling, tilting your fingers up towards the head, and again repeating a figure 8 pattern up towards the head and back down to your hips. Are you holding your breath as you're carrying out this movement? Are you gripping the crease of your thigh or pulling your kneecap up as you're focusing on this movement? Can you feel the weight shifting down away from the body and back up as you are comparing right and left sides of the body as you are moving your fingers in an arch and curl in this figure 8 pattern, Resting your arm down by your side. Taking inventory of your body overall. Rolling gently to your side. When you're ready, and slowly getting up in your own time. Setting an intention for the practice. Thank you for joining me for another week. Be gentle with yourself, and we will see you soon.